There's Wilmer. Can you hear me, Wilmer? Hi, James. I had so much trouble getting this to go live. I don't know why. I don't like their new stuff they've done. Good morning, Black Mountain Station from Australia. I'm going to wait just a minute and see if a couple more people show up, and then I'll get started. What time is it in Australia? Is it about 8:30 or 9:30 in the morning over there? 10:30. Wow. Okay. Good. It's not too early. Use the StreamYard. It's easy to use. I have never used that. I don't even know what it is or where it is. I just try to use the button that says "Go Live" on the in YouTube. So bacon time, absolutely. Well, every time is bacon time. It doesn't matter what time of day it is. It's always time for bacon. Hey, Strong's Adventures in here. Streamer. Okay, I will do that next time. I don't know. My wife says I'm not very good at following instructions, so I don't know if I can do that. Well, over here it's evening. I've got a Dr. Pepper. What else could I want? So before I get started, I just wanted to show I posted a video the other day of of doing my where is it? Doing my number boards. So you can see that tiny little number board I've got there. I think I had it upside down. So this camera I'm using doesn't focus in real well. So I just wanted to show you there's a little hole in the back. I'm just going to put can you see the little Pico light? I'm going to put it in the hole and I can adjust where it is inside there. I'm not going to do that now because I don't want to glue it down. But anyway, I've just got a little, I've got a battery here and I'm just going to touch the leads to the battery and show you how it looks. If I can do it and hold it all at the same time. I think I'm going to angle my camera down a little bit so I can, well, of course it came out. Turn your ears off. So you can see, if I can get it, you can see how it lights up there and lights up the number. Um, there's a little light bleed around the edge, but I'll fix that. It's just hard to hold it on the battery. It'll be better once it's soldered onto my decoder. But anyway, that's if you didn't see my number board video, you can go back and look and see how I did those. So uh, and of course I can with my sound decoder I can nope, Riley, you're not late. With my sound decoder I can adjust the brightness so it won't be overly bright. Okay, so one thing I thought I'd do today is, while we were on, so here's the F unit I've been doing. I did a couple things since the last video. I got the horn and I put it on. That's the correct horn now. It's a Nathan M5. And then I put the other rails on this side. So I'm going to have to go back and keep gluing. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else has this trouble, but I have to go back about 3 or 4 times and glue things when I use super glue. I have never had any luck with super glue. So I just have to keep going back and re-gluing things till they finally all get tightened up. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I've re-glued every one of these handrails at least once. So, which, Wilmer, you were asking last time about painting, leaving them off and putting them on separately. And I thought of another good reason to put them on before you paint, and that was because of glue. Hey, humanity. So because I know that there's going to be some glue you see on here. If I paint over it, it's going to be hard to see. So I think I will. I think that's another good reason to put the handrails on before you paint it. Just for me, because I'm sloppy, I tell you. You know, it's not how well, it's not how many mistakes you make. It's how well you can hide them. So I started painting the inside. I got a cab here. This is actually an Athearn Genesis unit cab, and I started painting at that pale green color. I've just got to paint some of the gauges and stuff in there. You're not going to see it. You're not going to see it too much in there, but I do want to light the cab somewhat, so you can see some detail, and of course I'll put figures in there too. Luckily, this Athearn cab actually fits very nicely up in this Stewart unit, so I'm good with that. One of the things that I noticed about this, and here's here's my rivet counter coming through again. So on the model, the way it was molded, this panel and this panel had the screen on it. Just the screen was all the way across. Well, on the KCS unit, those two panels did not have screens. They were just flat sheet metal panels. And I will show you. There is the picture of the unit right there. So I've got it up on my other screen. So that's what this unit's going to be. It's and you'll notice these panels here are just flat sheet metal. They don't have the screen wire over them. So I spent a few hours, because the area is so small. I spent a few hours getting the screen out of those panels on both sides. So but I know when I paint it, it's not going to be absolutely smooth. So what I did is I got some strip styrene, and this is, you can see how thin this is, maybe, if I quit shaking it. This is a 10 thousandths of an inch thick, so it's very thin. It's paper thin. And luckily, this panel is actually exactly a 1/4 inch wide. So all I need to do, since this is a 1/4 inch wide strip, is just cut them to length and glue them in. So that way, those sections, those 4 sections, 2 on each side, are going to be perfectly smooth once I glue this panel in. And I'm going to put my visor on. And Wilmer, you got to get a visor, because when you do, you will become a rivet counter also, because then you'll see you'll see how many mistakes there are. So this is going to be, I'm going to have to measure this. I think I'm going to use the millimeter side to measure this. So it looks like it's going to be exactly 9 millimeters. I don't know. I'm not sure what this magnification is on this visor. I don't think it says. I just bought it at Hobby Lobby. Actually, I've got 2 of them, because I thought I had lost one. And then about 5 or 6 months after I bought a new one, I found the other one. So, it doesn't really say. It's got two visors in it. So you can flip this one down. I think this is, if I remember, this is a 10 times, and this is a 20 times magnification, I believe, the second one. So, and then it's also got the little thing like a jeweler's loop on it, so you can magnify even further. So I usually most of the time, I'll just use the one, and then if I have to do some really fine work, I'll drop the other one down. But usually just the one is good enough. And even with my glasses, so I'm going to point the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. And to mark it, I usually just mark it off with a I wish I had one of those choppers, because I think one of those choppers would be nice. I could get it perfectly square with a chopper. And all I have to do with this stuff is score it, and it'll break. And that looks like, I don't think I could have got it much more square than that anyway. Now let me see if it fits. Pretty much. I think I'm gonna, I don't think, I'm not gonna have to do anything to this. Okay. Talking about luck. That doesn't I'm not gonna get it any closer than that. Okay, this glue I'm using, I have to wait. I have to hold it upside down for a minute. Yeah, maybe you've got Humanity. You sure yours doesn't have a flip down thing? Because if it does, then because when I use the flip down thing, I've got to get about 6 inches from it. But when I flip that back up, I can get a little bit further away. So it might be off by 1/10,000th of an inch, Wilmer. And if it is, You can when I do the next video after the video after I get it painted, you are welcome to point it out. You gotta be careful with this glue. The thing is, people tend to use too much glue a lot of times, and you just can't do that. So do whatever you can to spread it around there. Got a real thin layer. So I can oh, so it's got just separate inserts and you bought okay. Like I said, I got this one at Hobby Lobby. I think it was about 20 bucks. Yeah, when you use glue, that's the thing is, and that's one reason I think I have to go around and re-glue my handrails is because I use super glue especially. You only need to use the tiniest drop of that stuff anymore, and and it's too much. Wow, that just that's an absolute perfect fit. So I can't I can't say much more about that. Okay, let's measure the second one. Yeah, I use the tester's glue for the plastic. That's absolutely what I use, and it's just I have to use super glue though for the handrails because they're metal. They will the tester's glue is great. I mean, if you're gluing plastic to plastic, that's all I will ever use. So this one, this size, if you can see it, it's just I'm gonna cut this at 6. You know the old adage, measure twice and cut once. I usually the problem is I usually end up measuring twice and cutting it 3 times. Faller's Expert Glue. Is that a CA glue? Hey Jerry, how's it going? Okay, let's see how close I get this one. The good thing about this plastic, it's so thin, is if you score it, you can just snap the piece off. Now let's test fit it, and that's the one thing you always have to do is test fit your parts. Okay, so I can see that this piece is just a little bit out of square. So what I'm going to do is get a sanding stick here and just I don't want to get, I don't want to take too much off of this. So I think I'm going to get a little bit finer sanding stick. These are good to use if you want to get something good and square. Especially something this thin. All right. I think that's square now. At least it is by my eyesight. Mm. Wow, that's stuck in there now. Ah. And I am going to just square this up a little bit. There we go. Okay, what do you think? Let me know how you if you have any questions. I don't want to bore anybody. I don't want this just to be about me cutting plastic and gluing it down. Come on, glue. I really like that glue dispenser that Vinny has. He has the same glue, but it's the Model Master. So it's got that needle dispenser on it. And that is much, much better. There we go. And this is actually a sanding stick I'm just spreading this around with. You can use a toothpick or anything. I think that's the way I want it. There we go. Yeah, especially you don't want to use too much glue on thin plastic because what what plastic glue does, stuff like this, is it actually melts the plastic. Um, and so if you use too much, you either run a risk of kind of deforming things, but more than likely what's going to happen if you use too much glue is it'll end up never drying. It'll just be a kind of a mushy mess for a long, long time. So yeah, Riley, I'm not going to do much to the frames in the truck. Um, the only thing I'm going to do is add what's that cable called that runs from the front truck on the left side, the cable that runs from the front wheel on the front truck up into the cat. I forget what it is. Um, wow. course, I'm going to paint them and weather them, but really that's mainly what I'm going to do, just run that cable. Because the Stewart trucks look fairly accurate. Um, one one of the things I noticed, I got a detail set for this F unit, and I did not realize, and I put this in last night, so I'll show you the front. Um, most F units, you'll notice, just has a rectangular hole, and then there's a coupler box behind it with the coupler protruding through. So I saw this piece in the detail kit that I got, and I said, "Wow, I've never noticed that." So I started looking at some photos, and sure enough, let me open this up because I've got a close-up picture of the front truck of an F unit. Here it is. So if you can see it, and you can't really see in the shadows, there's some teeth-looking thing back here, and then there's a bar underneath it. But you'll notice it's cut pretty much straight down, and then you've got an oval cut over on this side. And so that I was going, I never even noticed that before. So that was another thing that I did last night to my F unit. If you'll notice, I cut an oval hole on this side and tried to cut a straighter one on that side, and then put the draft gearbox up underneath it. So that I thought that was I don't know why I've never seen that before, but it's just odd when you start noticing all these details and you go, oh, now I've got more details. So, but I'm doing them because I really want to detail this out completely. It also came with the detail set came with a new back door. I've got to kind of smooth the current back door that's on it to get that on, but this fits on here like this. And then you've got the back door that goes in there. So so on Amazon then have all these needles. I can't all I can tell you is I'm going to go on a rant right now. And I've been thinking about this for a long time, and of course after this mess all came along, as much as possible, I am not buying anything from China ever. First of all, I notice all the stuff I get from China is absolute garbage. And I was talking about this on my last video. I got some new old stock drills, another number 81, 77s, 60s, the small drill bits, the needle drill bits. And I tell you what, these were a new old stock made in the US, and I haven't broken one of them, and I was even drilling through metal with the thing. And I started and the Chinese junk, I usually get 2 or 3 holes in and I'll break a drill bit. And it's so frustrating. And to finally realize how drill bits should work is just amazing. So I'm just not going to buy any Chinese garbage if I don't have to. And the problem is, of course, that most of our stuff is made in China. And I wish we'd start demanding that the manufacturers start making it here. I'd rather even pay a little bit more. And I couldn't buy as much, but at least I wouldn't be supporting an economy I don't agree with. So yeah, humanity. I know. On the Micromark website, they say their stuff is made in the U.S. Their pin vise and their drill bits. Um, Call them up and ask them for sure, and then buy it because you'll be amazed at the difference. So, wow, it's time flies when you're having fun. No, it's already 8 o'clock. Now let me measure this side because I want to measure each side. I want to make sure that I'm not, I didn't do one side's a little bit larger than the other one. No, I think about 9 millimeters is good for this size too. Yeah, hopefully, if we ever have any more train shows, it seems like so long. Two that I was going to got canceled. Of course, one was in March, and the other one was in May, and they were both canceled, and it's kind of frustrating. Seems like a whole lifetime since we've been normal, doesn't it? All right, so let me get my sanding stick out and square this one up. And basically, I'm just squaring this up by sight. So, but when the plastic is this thin, it just sands very easily. Like I said, this is a 10,000th. So just a couple swipes and it's sanded. And I'm going to test fit it. And it looks like, I don't know, Wilmer, this one might be off by 2/10,000ths of an inch. Hi, Rick. Oh, Rick joined us. How you doing? Well, Rick, and I'm sorry to hear that because I tell you what, this is I think Texas at least got off fairly easy. We have um, in the entire state, uh, there was just 500 and something deaths. I mean, and you always feel sorry for anybody that loses friends or family members, but I think in a state of 23 million people, um, getting away with just 500 deaths is um, a blessing, So, Rick, you don't have to be formal. Just call me Flying. It doesn't have to be Mr. Crow. No, it's Robert. If you don't know, Yeah, Mr. Crow was my father, sorry. And so for those of you that have just joined us, what I'm doing is, um, I am, putting some panels on here that aren't on the model. So on this model from Stewart, the whole side was screened. It had that chicken wire screen on it. So KCS's F unit here, this was just a sheet metal panel, and so was this. So I cleaned out the screen, but I wanted a good flat surface to paint on. So what I'm doing, I'm putting a 10 thousandths strip styrene in here, and it's 1/4 inch styrene, and it happened to be that 1/4 inch was just the exact right size for these panels. So I'm just cutting them to fit right now the length. Yeah, Robert Crow. No, Rick, that's fine. Hey, no, it's Johnson's the last name. It's not Crow. And if you wouldn't, I most of you probably know where Flying Crow came from, but if you don't, it's just Kansas City Southern's first passenger train was called the Flying Crow, and it was their premier train up until 1940. And in 1940, they started. Also, they put on their routes the Southern Belle. So I didn't want to call myself Southern Belle, so I figured Flying Crow would be a lot better name. Something distinctly KCS. Uh, and their motto was for the Flying Crow was straight as the crow flies. So, well, I'm actually I'm in Texas, but I'm in East Texas. I'm actually from Northwest Louisiana, Shreveport, and KCS. Their hub is actually in Shreveport, believe it or not. Doremus Yard is there, and I grew up, just a few hundred feet from the KCS railroad track, the Alexandria subdivision. So it's that's what I grew up with, and so I've always modeled KCS ever since I was, I don't know, about 16 years old. So, and actually KCS had a pretty good presence in Texas all the way to Dallas as well. So, and Texarkana and places like that. So it looks like once again 6 is going to be good. No, no, I didn't want to be the Southern Belle. The Newfie Bullet. Okay. So I would take it, James, and you're up in Canada, right? The shell is actually a Stewart F unit. So it was a Stewart F3 Phase 3, and luckily I didn't bring the drive out with me, but it's a it's a Kato drive. So I got this F unit off of eBay just about a month or so ago, and it's a Kato drive, and I love those Kato drives. They are so smooth. So I'm glad I got it because over the years they use different drives in them. But So I'm looking forward to getting this painted and up on the road so I can see. I bought a TCS Wow decoder, and I have had I have had so many problems with tsunamis that I just gave up on them. So that's why I bought a TCS decoder. Mm. Hey, Sparky. So, Rick, do you remember what the company was? Chemical plant. I know. So, humanity, you took the shell off, and it seems bent. What shell was it? What is it? What is it to? Well, I'm glad you're here, Sparky. I'm just kind of finishing squaring up this panel that I'm putting on. So I'm going to see if it fits. Get my visor down. Mm, I think I could square it up just a hair more. It's funny when you put it in there, you can tell it's out of square. N scale shells 2010 MTL. I'm not familiar with MTL. Wow, it doesn't seem like the shell should be warped though. All right, get the visor out. Check the square. And you know what? I'm still not satisfied. Because I know if I put this on out of square that Wilmer's going to notice it. Sorry to hear you're feeling rough, Sparky. Um, and Sparky, I appreciate that video you did because I got about 6 or 7 new subscribers off of that. So, and I wouldn't subscribe to people that I thought I was subscribed to. You know, it's funny. You think you're subscribed to somebody and you're not. So there we go. Mm. Well, see, now I look at it with my visor and I go, huh, maybe not. Yeah, I know there's a few spammers that have gotten into the train world. I've noticed that. Um, yeah, Tom and Tim. Yeah, no kidding. If they say let's be YouTube friends right away, I know it's spam because that's what they usually put on mine. Let's be YouTube friends. I just automatically report them and delete them. There we go. Now that's better. Okay, let's see if I can get some glue on here. Oh, Rick, it's just a couple. It's a spammer, and it might even be the same person that says they want to be YouTube friends, or and you go to their channels, and it's how to increase your subscriber count, and that's all it is, and that kind of stuff. And it's just it's really annoying because they have nothing to do with trains. All right, Riley, you're cut off. Uh, okay, there we go. Okay, so I got my panels on both sides. How about that? And it only took 40 minutes. Now I need another drink of Dr. Pepper. Oh, and there's my brother-in-law. No, Jim, you can't be my YouTube friend. I'm glad he joined us. So Sparky, my brother-in-law is from Ontario. So, right, aren't you, Jim? So he's one of those Canucks like you. But he's out in BC now. My so that's where my wife's family is all out there in BC. So I have ties to Canadians. Be nice. Yes, originally from Ontario. Yeah. But Sparky, he moved to the good side of Canada. All right. So the last thing I'm going to do while we're on, yeah, tie tie up Canadians. Shh, don't tell my wife that. So the last thing is this. This is the the what am I trying to say? The coupler thingy. Oh boy, the rear coupler. Um, man, I can't think of what I'm talking about here. I heard that he resembles it. Yes, I don't. Isn't Kevin Bacon? I don't know. I've heard of Canadian bacon. So last night, some of these detail pieces are, they're just that white metal or pot metal, so they bend really easily. And of course, I had to file this one down. This is the coupler, the draft gearbox. That's what I was. Yeah, coupler box bottom thingy. Yeah, that was, draft gearbox was the word I was trying to think of. So I am going to glue this on underneath there. So I'm surprised at and I've even seen these like Athearn has their Genesis line, and then the rivet count. Scale Trains has a rivet counter, and I am surprised how they just skimp on the draft gearboxes for the coupler. They um they just do not detail those ever, and I don't know why those things are not detailed. All right, so I'm going to glue this on. And hold it for about 10 seconds while it sets up. Yes, the thingy. There we go. And so I'm one thing that this, because it was an F3, that this did not have on the back of it was MU hoses. So I'm not going to have to worry about putting MU hoses on the rear of this. Well, that's nice, Riley. Yeah, it's good. I went my last train show I went to. I found a guy that had some buildings already made, and one of them was actually a kind of a warehouse. But it was all made out of tin and soldered together, and it was done very nicely. I got it for $5. So I wish I'd gotten there earlier and gotten some more of his stuff, but he was kind of almost out completely. Oh, there is one more thing I wanted to do on the live stream tonight. If I can find them in my box here. Because I threw everything in the box hoping it would make it to my desk here. And I know I put these in here. So, there's one of them. They're just so tiny. And there's the other one. And one thing I want to put on, and another thing I want to show you. I got these off of eBay. This is most F units had dual headlights. Um, and by dual headlights, I mean two headlights in one spot. So I got these off of eBay from KV. They're for the headlights. So you can see, and there's actually 5 different sizes. So depending on what model you have, you can use whichever size fits best in the headlight housing. So I think it was the middle one that fit in this one best. So I'm going to use that. What I'm going to do is glue it on front of a tube, and then put my LED in the tube, and then it will shine through both of the holes there. So I thought these were. I had made one for another model, but this one's got a little bit of detail on it, so that's why I bought them. I don't know if you can really tell, but they've got the covers that lift up etched on there, so it looks like it's actually a light housing. So now, Riley, most F3s did not have MU cables, and that's but the detail kit that I got for this came with them, so I don't have to worry about putting those on there. So, um, Sparky, you asking me where I got this shirt? Well, I guess I'm the only one on camera, so I guess I know. Actually, my wife got it for me online, not this past Christmas, but Christmas before last, and she ordered it for me. So, I don't know exactly where she got it though. I just know she ordered it online. So these are little walkways, and they go right here on the F unit. So they go right. It's hard to show you where they go because I can't get them to go line up straight. But they are little. There we go. They're little walkways, and they go right up there under. And almost every F unit has them from every railroad, and I don't know why they're not usually molded on. It's Ather never did it. Stewart never did it. The only time I've ever seen these is on. I think some of the Genesis models have them now, and the Proto 2000s actually had them on there. So I was kind of glad to see these in a detail kit. The only thing is they're white. They're that white metal, and they are so thin. They just bend real easily. So I've had to try to get it. I think I got this one pretty straightened out. Yeah, I will. I'll try to find out, Sparky, where she got it, and yeah. So I don't know how they consisted the F3s. I'm not sure since they did not have MU cables. I'm not sure. I would have to ask somebody that knows that actually knows how they consisted them. So maybe there's another way to do it. Because I know KCS ran F3s in consist. So, and like I said, there was no MU connections. Um, the F7s, of course, did have MU cables. So, just looking at my picture, it's just under. Let me try to angle my camera down a little bit more. This here, and I forget what that's called. I didn't know. But this is where I'm going to have to use a toothpick. And I'll try to wrap it up after I do this because we've already been on here an hour. I can't believe it. So I'll just do this one side. So just a touch of super glue there, a touch there. And like I say with super glue, just the tiniest drop is all you need. And the smaller the drop, the better. Just checking. Of course, it's going to stick to my finger. I love when it does that. Rather than sticking where it belongs. Hmm. It does not want to cooperate, that's for sure. Well, of course, this is the kind of stuff that happens when you're detailing. At least I got one thing down. Oh, I thought I did. Hmm. Maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna put a little touch of glue there on the other ones, just to make sure. There we go. Ah, thought I had it. This wouldn't be happening if I wasn't on camera. There's some parts you wish they, molded on, because these are not the kinds of things you want to mess around with. All right, let's see how that goes. Ha! See you, James. So, whew, that was pretty tough. So, Sparky, since you're on here, are you thinking about rescheduling Strasbourg in the fall? That's good. I hope we can get together. I was really looking forward to meeting everybody. I'm trying to glue this back down again because it came unstuck. This is a This is why, Wilmer, I like putting this stuff on first because there's gonna be glue all over this. And it'll be nice to hide it with paint. These things do come separate. These little walkways come separate. I did order some from another place, but I think it was Trains, but they said they weren't shipping anything right now. Um, so the ones from Trains actually come in a separate package and they're brass. So they might be a little bit easier to work with than these white metal ones. Uh, yeah, it would be good to get all of us together. I'm anxious to meet you guys in the flesh, not just talk to you on the computer. What would you think? Any of y'all heard of GoToMeeting? It's a conference software. I have an account, and the thing is with GoToMeeting, you can actually see everybody at the same time and talk, talk to everybody. So I was thinking about maybe setting one of those up for everybody, maybe in a few weeks, and being able to talk to everybody. Yeah, it is kind of like Zoom. Um, but yeah, go to meetings just what I have an account with, so it would just be something that I could do. I know a lot of people have webinars and stuff that their company uses. But I think I'm going to put that out there and have people email me and see if anybody wants to do that. Now, all that happens is I send you a link, you click on the link, and you join. You join it. So and it just shows you whatever your computer camera has, and you can just talk back and forth with everybody. So anyway, today, let's see, we've got the sheet metal panels on both sides. We got the draft gearbox on the back for the rear coupler and the walkway. So great job that everybody helped me. So I want to ask somebody out there if you're familiar with F units. Let me just show you something. And you can email me the answer or just flyingcrow@yahoo.com. And I've noticed there's some F3s like this, but do you see the panels on the side here? Normally there were grills on these four panels, but these look blank. And I don't know if it's just black sheet metal or if there's actually windows in there. It's just hard to tell. I've never been able to tell from any picture. And if anybody knows for sure, they can let me know if those are just sheet metal panels back there with the grills removed, or if somebody puts windows. I mean, because you can look at the windows and they're kind of the same color, so I just don't really know from the photo. So, and I've seen other units like this on other railroads. So if you do know, you can let me know. because I am going to cut the grill panels out here, and if it's windows, I'll put windows back there. If it's sheet metal, I'll just put strip styrene behind it, like it was sheet metaled over. So, Riley, I would just what I would do is email it to you. I would email you the YouTube link. I guess I could share it on YouTube too. I could just put the link to the GoToMeeting in the YouTube comments. So, and then whenever we were going to have it, we could just everybody could just click on it and join all at the same time. But all you need is a link. It doesn't, you don't have to have it in an email or anything else. So. Yeah, Sparky, same with me. My first train set back in, when did I get it? 74, I think 1974 was no, it would have been 73. Sorry, it would have been 73. Was a lifelike train set, and it had an F9, a chassis system F9 in it. Well, Strong's, you're right. I probably wouldn't want to share it on YouTube because then anybody could get on it. So maybe it would be better to do it by email. So, but anyway, we can figure out some way to have a meeting where we can all see each other and talk. So I think that would be good. Do it, have a kind of a virtual Strasbourg meeting instead of really being there. We'll just all meet virtually. So anyway, hey, I appreciate everybody showing up tonight. If this was really great. Since it's a live stream, go ahead and promote your own channels too. I know most of you in here, and I think most of us in here are subscribed to each other. Just if you aren't, make sure you are. I think I've got it set up where you can click on the name. At least from my end, your names are all highlighted green. So I think you can click on the. Yeah, I did too, Wilmer. I'm glad to talk to everybody more than anything. I could sit here and do this by myself, but it's great having company. So. I wish I could, Sparky. The problem is I'm usually at church on Wednesday nights, and that's why I miss it. If it was just a little bit later, I could do it. Thanks, Jerry. I appreciate it. I said I hope everybody here is subscribed to each other. Go over and watch Sparky's videos on how to grow our channels and everything, and let's build up our community a little bit more too. It might. Yeah. I'm glad you're not mad, Sparky. But I enjoyed everybody being here, and I thank you again for coming. All right, watch part 3 first, and I will see everybody next time. I'm going to do one more, I think, with some detailing stuff, and then I'll start the painting, and we probably do that. All right, humanity. That's great. Y'all have a good evening.